Oh, greetings everyone. Yeah, little chocolate shake. So here we have yet another update video. Yep. So this time around we got a couple of DVDs, one CD related item. Yeah, didn't think I'd forget about that, now did you? And a few Blu-rays. So what are they? Well, let's just roll the credits. All right, welcome back. So, first of all, let's get the CD out of the way. Now, for this particular CD, it's a 2-disc set. Basically, it's one of my favorite Broadway shows. Now, I've never actually seen the Broadway in person. Sadly, I think it's finally done. But thankfully, thanks to the movies and stuff, they made a movie adaptation of it, and I enjoy that version of it. But I've never actually owned a physical copy of the original cast recording of this. Now, this would be my second favorite musical. Yes, I do like some musicals. This would be my second favorite. First will always be Phantom of the Opera. So I don't know why. There's just something about that one that I just absolutely love. But this one runs on a personal second. And so with that, we have the original Broadway cast recording of Les Miserables. Yeah, based off of the book by Victor Hugo. Presented from Cameron McIntosh, who also presented Phantom of the Opera, as well as lots of others. I believe he also did Miss Saigon, I believe. And that one I've never seen either. So, alright, so first off, let's go through the DVDs real quick, shall we? First off, I have no idea how I do not have this movie in my collection. Granted, yes, I've seen it a number of times, and I've owned it on VHS way back in the day. But I have no idea why I've never owned it on DVD until just now. But, I think probably one of the funniest comedies probably ever. And also, it's a comedy, but I think it's more of a dramedy. It's got some comedy mixed with some drama in it. But, it's such a good movie, especially the very last, 5 minutes of the film. It goes to show you that, that was a time in the 90s where you really have a time where after everything that you watched, there's this little personal connection that connects everybody, especially when it comes to family. What movie am I talking about? Well, I'm of course talking about the Robin Williams classic film, Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, now this is the behind the scenes edition, which is a 2-disc version of the movie. And, but I tell you what though, this thing is absolutely loaded with extras. Yeah. So we got Cutting Room, which is deleted, extended, and alternate scenes. The production office, From Man to Mrs., The Evolution of Mrs. Doubtfire featurette. Aging Gracefully, a look back at Mrs. Doubtfire featurette, a behind-the-scenes photo gallery, an animation studio, a conversation with legendary animator Chuck Jones, the original pencil test, as well as the final animation sequence, which is where he's voicing the bird, where he's saying "Oh, what I found a way for the bird to die," and has a cigarette or a cigar in his mouth. The makeup department, the makeup application, photo gallery and tests, stage A, the improvisation of Mrs. Doubtfire, then the publicity department, the original 1993 featurette, theatrical trailers, publicity stills, and more. Wow, it's hard to believe that this movie is 30 years old. I mean, it doesn't feel like it, but it kind of does at the same time because one of the actors in this film, I cannot remember what his name was. The actor who plays the son in this show was in a TV series called Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, and he played the lead in that. I want to say something Lawrence Matthews. I think that's what his name is. So, then up next for the other DVD that I got, a John Woo epic that I've never seen. Now I do have this already, but not this particular version. The version I have is the original theatrical version. The version that I found, finally, the original international version of Red Cliff. Yeah, the 5-hour John Woo epic, based on the Romance of the Three Kingdom novels, which is, a lot of it is, but also, it's been, based on a lot of stuff, like, for example, the Dynasty Warrior video games, especially from 2 to onward, is based off of those same novels. So, really, really cool. Can't wait to sit down and watch this long epic. That might be what I'll do for Labor Day weekend. That'll kill some time. Alright, so let's go through the Blu-rays that I got. So, first off, gotta have a little bit of horror in the franchise, into the collection, right? I've got pretty much everything that this director has done, except for his very first movie, which is kind of hard to track down. I know for a fact it's not available on Blu-ray, but probably by now it might be. But now I know it's available on Amazon Prime, but I don't know, there's just something about streaming that just, you watch it and then, well, what can I say? You lose your connection. Physical media, you don't have that problem. What movie am I talking about? Well, it's the latest from director M. Night Shyamalan. We have starring none other than Dave Bautista in Knock at the Cabin. Yeah, I've never seen this, obviously. Excuse me, so I just wonder what it's going to be like, because I know it looks pretty creepy and whatnot, but then again, most of Shyamalan's movies pretty much are, except for his first movie. So, speaking of horror, here we have, as of right now, the most current CG animated film from this beloved franchise. I've got all 3 of them on DVD. I'm trying to get them all on Blu-ray for the, better quality and whatnot, because I have all of the movies in that same format. But, as usual, DVDs don't have as many bonus features, or none at all. Yeah, that'll be a rant later. But here we have, finally, the newest CG animated film, Resident Evil Death Island. Yeah, I can't wait to sit down and watch this. And, what can I say? I mean, it's about time we got Jill back. I'd say, Claire and Leon aren't bad or anything, but, gotta throw some Jill in there, too. You know what I mean? And finally, now for this movie, I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. All I know is that the title sounded interesting, because at the time, I still am though, I absolutely love soundtracks, and this, can't remember which company it was, which boutique it was. I want to say it was La La Land Records. Yeah, they were promoting their upcoming releases, and they had this interesting title with this really awesome artwork. And lo and behold, found out it's a movie basically set during the Vietnam War. One movie that I've never seen, but heard really great things about it, starring none other than, the Walken himself, Miss Christopher Walken. Yeah, Christopher Walken. And we have the interesting 1981 film, The Dogs of War. Yeah, I've never seen this, but what's so cool about it is that this comes from a company called Scorpion Releasing. and kind of reminds me, it's like those like Scream Factory or shoot, what is it? Like Shout Factory with their collector editions. The artwork is what caught my eye. But what's cool about it is that it also has a slipcover, which actually has the original poster art, and also it's on one disc. But what's cool about it is that if you look here, it has the exact same artwork that's on the disc. So it has a reversible cover, which is nice. Loaded with extras. I didn't even mention the other stuff. I'll have to go back and do that here as soon as I get done with these. Anyway, so for bonus features for this movie, a new 2020 2K scan of the IP, interviews with co-stars Paul Freeman and Maggie Scott, co-writer George Malico, first assistant director Anthony Way, production designer Paul Mullins, and costume designer Emma Porteous, as well as some trailers. So, you know, nice little amount of bonus features for what you can. So let's go through the other movies, which I forgot to do. For Resident Evil, we have the Genesis of Death Island, motion capture set tour, designing Death Island, Jill Valentine, The Return, voicing Death Island, The Birth of Death Island, and a design gallery. Knock at the Cabin. We have deleted scenes, the Chow Blaster infomercial, which is the extended cut, choosing wisely, behind the scenes of Knock at the Cabin, Tools of the Apocalypse, drawing a picture, and Christian Cooey's Shines a Light. I want to say it might be I want to say probably that might be like her screen test, I believe. So we'll see. And also Red Cliff. So on disc 1, we have a Making of an Epic, Red Cliff, interview with John Woo, the carrier's flight from concept to creation, and storyboards. Then for disc 2, Making Red Cliff, Trials and Tribulations, and an HDNet, a look at Red Cliff. Yeah, HDNet, for those of you that don't know, at the time, they were this site that was put up where they were going to be making a lot of content just for the internet, which was kind of interesting because I know at the time Steven Soderbergh was making a film just for the internet called Bubble. Yeah, Bubble. And then also around that time, that's when the BMW action shorts were kind of getting into popularity, and lots of stuff was being made exclusively for the internet. Now we kind of have that basically now. It's gone streaming. It's like Netflix and Hulu and blah, 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 blah. But, you know, I think the site is still active and whatnot. But, yeah, but what can I say, though? You know, not bad at all for any of that type of stuff. You know, not bad at all for what I got. You know, that's basically it for this lap. Yep. Remember to please like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. You know, and with that, I'm going to sit back and relax, enjoy the rest of my shake, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.